Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about my predictions for the bombshell, heart-melting final moments in The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 16. Now, a lot of fans were wondering, and this came out of your questions, if we're getting the big moment at the end of Episode 15, what do they have in store for the end of Episode 16? And I think I'm on to something that I really like. It's a bit out there, but bear with me a second. If you guys don't know, we're starting a live stream event on this channel, April 26th, and that is going to cover the post-apocalyptic zombie-like game called Days Gone. It'll run as long as you guys want it to. Obviously, as long as the story holds up as well. If we finish it, we finish it. But also, March 26th is going to be the final episode of Telltale's, formerly Telltale, but now Skybound's The Walking Dead. That's Clementine's journey. We have that episode on the 26th coming out. We will do it on the 26th, and then we'll finish Michonne. She has 3 episodes in her story, as well as a review of all 4 seasons, and then we're completely done with Skybound's The Walking Dead. And I don't believe they're making any more. I think this is it. They're wrapping it up. I hope they don't wrap up her story. But moving on to The Walking Dead finale, the final 2 episodes. You guys already know that episode 15 is going to have a big death reveal at the end of it. And then episode 16 has a blizzard. We don't know if there's going to be a time skip of a week, of a month. It doesn't really make sense that we would skip the mourning period, skipped the reveal of everyone's, shock and disgust and horror at what happened immediately following probably one of the best events that they've ever had, which was the fair. Over all these years, the most positive, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to have a big time skip, but looking back at what happened in Season 9, something interesting popped up. The radio. The radio did 2 things. One, it gave us a possible introduction to bring in the Commonwealth storyline from the comic. But it also led to the Whisperer storyline. Now, Eugene and Gabriel talked about expanding the radio to see what else is out there and what can we find. Rosita, I will say, I'm going to add this to my prediction that Rosita's going to die, but she left and the camera lingered on Gabriel with a smile. I think that's, looking back now, I think that was done purposefully for what's coming up in the future. But anyway, Rosita and Eugene go out to put this booster, and this is where they run into the Whispers, and this kicked off the Whisper storyline. But it also could be what's coming up for the end of the season. It's in this season. It'll come full circle with the radio. Maybe Rosita's not feeling well. She's sick. Morning sickness. She veers off. She ends up getting snatched up by some Whispers. And Gabriel and Eugene tinker around with the radio. And then maybe after the reveal, see, he has like an antenna. Maybe he buys something at the fair. Parts that the Highwaymen had. It makes sense. They were introduced. They're selling stuff at the fair. Parts they collected, he can use for the radio to help what they got going on. Eugene is crushed, and he can't sit there and just cry once it's revealed that Rosita's dead, so he's tinkering around, and by the end of episode 16, he gets in touch with the Commonwealth. We just got this new villain that revealed they can probably wipe out at least one or all of our communities. And then maybe there's this hope that they reach out and find a massive community. Maybe he reaches out and talks to her in the beginning, and it's a little mysterious in the beginning of episode 16. But then at the final moments of episode 16, he calls in Michonne. Michonne has Judith there, and they come in. Daryl comes in, and he's like, shh, but he's talking on the radio to this new community. And then he gets off the radio with Stephanie. It was Stephanie in the comic. And then he's like, isn't this amazing? Do you see? We reached people out here. There's a whole world out here. Michonne's a little cautious, but they're still shocked. I mean, this is kind of hopeful. If this is real, again, she's cautious, but if this is real, this could be huge. And then the radio starts to crackle a little. Maybe, just maybe, somebody heard that communication. I don't really know how that works. I don't play around with radios much, but maybe he was on the same connection, and a voice over the radio says, Eugene, is that you? It's Rick. Or something like that. Let's play around with the dialogue. Maybe he just says, hello, my name is Rick. I'm looking for my people. Any number of different variations of something, but it's Rick over the radio. Michonne is blown away. Daryl is stunned. Judith is welling up with tears, looking for confirmation to Michonne that she's not just hearing some old crazy shit, that that's actually her dad on the radio. Her alive dad. Now not dead, now not missing, but alive. Well, still kind of missing. And then they just share a look, like a heart-melting look between mother and daughter. Daryl in the background, and then it cuts to black, giving us some hope for the future. Not only setting up Michonne's departure in season 10, but also Rick's second movie, which most likely will usher in Michonne's story into the second movie, according to early speculation. It only makes sense that Rick's first movie would cover where he went and why he didn't leave and come to find his group. Did Jadis lie to him and say all his people are dead now? I mean, would he even believe that? Not the Rick I know. The Rick I know would have to go and see for himself. There's always a hope. There's always a chance he's going to go find his people. I hope it's not lazy writing like Amnesia. I hope it's not that. That's just so lazy and cheap. So I hope it's something where it was weather at first, then he got caught up in some type of event, had to help these people, and then maybe he tried to venture out. Maybe his movies, instead of being stuck in one location, his movie, first one, will be about where he goes. He's wounded, he has to heal. Months go by with him healing. He was badly injured, and then he tries to make it out of where he's at. That takes a little while. Maybe that's a whole year in itself of him just healing and then getting out. His wound's going to take him a while to heal. That's going to be a bit, That's not going to heal in a few weeks. They already have it. They don't need amnesia. That wound in and of itself is a gift. To have him maybe even bedridden, kind of in a coma for a bit. He was in a coma, it kind of matches up. So then finally, the latter half of his first movie, or maybe his beginning of his second movie, can be him venturing out to find his people. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because I think with the big time skip, they can have 4 Rick movies before they even bring in Michonne, Well, maybe they can have 2 complete Rick movies and then bring in Michonne. But if they're bringing her in, we need a good reason, something better than just amnesia. I mean, for an end, it connects full circle with the radio, doing 3 things: introducing the Whisperers, setting up the Commonwealth, and then the bombshell ending with Rick telling Judith her dad is out there, giving her hope, giving her this, hope. Let's stick there. And then Michonne setting up her story, her movie, her departure, and her entrance into the Rick series, the Rick trilogy. Daryl, his best friend, is alive now. He would be like, Michonne, I will take care of the Whisperers. I don't know how long she's going to be around for season 10, but I got this. You go find Rick. I mean, she's strong. She's capable. She can do it. They know Eugene can map out where he's around if he understands perfectly where the booster signal could be from. It would be a big distance to search. Maybe they can even find out when season 10 rolls around. Maybe they can even find out. Obviously, there'll be connection issues. You know how movies do it. It wouldn't be like they can get on the radio and be like, clearly talk to Rick. Oh my God, Rick, how's it going? This, that, and the third. But maybe there's some sort of connection issues where before it disconnects, he could tell them some sort of information. He can tell them he doesn't know exactly where he's at, but he's by this and this and this, and then it gets cut off. Maybe there's people. Maybe it'll even show Rick. I mean, Rick did come down and shadow direct, so he might not be in the episode, but he very well could have recorded a voiceover for the radio. That would have been easy. He came down to shadow direct like episode 10 or something. He could have easily did a little voiceover for the finale. And again, setting up the reunion between Rick and Michonne. And this, I think, is also tricky because where are they planning on going from this point on? They would have to be in full commitment to take the show and bring it over into the movies in some capacity, because Rick is not coming back to the show. That's not at all what they're talking about, not at all how it's set up, unless, he did take time off to be with family and he's like, listen babe, I need to go back to the show and do 2 or 3 more years. I need to finish this character story. Unless that happens, you never know. You know what I mean? So that is my hopeful bombshell ending. Could be a little corny, might be a little cringe to some, but I don't know, put a smile on my face. You guys give me your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.